Out came bean soup, fish meunier, and bread. The beans were grown by a neighbor, and the fish was a type of trout that was shared by a bunch of from a bunch fished out of the canal around the town, and the bread was cheap leftovers from the bakery apparently. I thought they might have been leftovers, or maybe even poisonous, but it all tasted so good that I was left stunned. So how much is this gonna ruin me? Run me. I asked Lisa as she was making tea. She gave me a bit of a grim look. Perhaps she didn't like talking about money. Roughly 10 moles a day. Isn't that a bit much? I imagine she didn't go out to eat often. It went without saying that the exchange rate for moles was fairly high, so imports from Earth were rather cheap. Lunar cities import a lot of daily essentials, so the effects of the exchange rate were quite obvious. When I looked at Lisa with dissatisfaction, Lisa answered back with a serious face. This includes the lodging. Could have said that earlier. Well, when it comes to money matters, you're to... Wait, what? When it comes to money matters, you're to the point, aren't you? It seemed that she was trying to test me. With that, she handed me a cup of tea, but it wasn't the green tea I was used to drinking back at home. It was a type of Chinese tea that used the fermented tea leaves. But the name wasn't coming to me. Of course, it's not like I'm having fun running away from the home, only to return when I'm out of money, you know? Oh. What? But at this rate, won't things get worse? Even if your conviction is strong, what will you do from here? So that's what this was all about. I got it now. No, I can put you up. As you can see around you, we aren't exactly financially well off here. If you run out of resources, it will not be possible to support you. Basically, I'm going to need to work for my meals, right? Exactly. Motto of our church is everyone has a responsibility. A theologian a millennium ago once said manual labor is sacred. I replied immediately. I have no objections. Oh, how honest. Obviously. In that case, I can introduce you to a variety of jobs. What would you be interested in? Huh? While I was shopping, I gathered together some information from here and there. There are people I've known for a long time, so I can trust them. There are people who come from hardship, so people like you, well, you can understand. In any case, it seems like a lot of them are short-handed. Would you be interested in working in the kitchen, delivery work, construction, or cleaning? Lisa smiled from the other end of the table. Wait, weren't all these low-wage jobs for unskilled laborers? What? I reached out for a neglected piece of bread when my hand was slapped lightly. You know the saying, if man will not work, he shall not eat. How much will I make at each of those 4 jobs anyway? Well, the highest would be delivery. I've been told that you can earn 9 moles an hour for it. I'm not sure what kind of expression I had on my face, but whatever it wasn't good. Lisa reacted accordingly. You have a problem with that? It's 9 moles. It's true that you'll have to do deliveries to places at different distances, but you do have a surprising amount of endurance. Might have been fine with a well laid out green city and Newton City, but it made me shiver to think about making deliveries in the mess that was the outer sections. 9 moles an hour only amounted to 100 moles a day. Wait, how long is he working? 10 hours? 11 hours? The rate of earnings here was pretty low given the fact that I'd earned over 10,000 moles at best in a week. This was out of the question. Besides, it will have to be done in the daytime, wouldn't it? What the hell is wrong with the game? Of course! She stuffed that precarious piece of bread down her throat as she looked menacingly at me. This isn't a job for kids, you know. Or is that your intention? No, that's not it. Then what? Just want to say it isn't something worth it for me to do. After that, Lisa opened her mouth as if to say something, but I didn't really want to have an argument about it. So I reached into my pocket and produced some cash that was bundled separately from my wallet. Of course, I kept it for a specific reason. I kept it for a specific purpose or some shopping, but it wasn't really a large amount of money. I took out the largest notes from the bundle and placed 2 bills on the table. In any case, here's 200 moles, so please let me stay for 20 days. Honestly, if you kick me out, that'd be troublesome. Besides, if you took Hagana out of the picture, this rather cozy place was dirt cheap for 10 moles a day. For one evening, Bull Cafe costed 15 moles, food was extra, and you never knew when the cops would come strolling in. There wasn't actually any security in the booths either. Staying here 20 days for 200 moles wasn't a bad investment at all. I looked at Lisa. When I did so, Lisa was looking at the 2 100 mole notes I placed before her. Is that okay? Is that okay? When I asked her, Lisa was taken aback when she looked at me. Right. Of course, I wouldn't kick you out, but... I was a bit concerned about her change in expression. Maybe she thought they were counterfeit? It isn't dirty money or anything. At my words, Lisa looked a bit flustered as she shook her head. I'm sorry, it isn't that. Then what was it? Or at least, that was what I was tempted to say, but given the circumstances, I said nothing. Besides, we'd already deviated from talking about those crappy jobs, so I didn't want to put an end to this discussion. If there isn't any problems, I'd like you to take it. I also want you to not bother me for these 20 days. In my mind, I wanted to add those words, but my face didn't reflect that. Just to make sure, I had some bean soup and helped myself to some bread. Lisa still looked confused, but then she sighed and nodded her head slowly. Okay, I'll take it. For a brief moment, things proceeded smoothly under this roof. Then, right after I could finally breathe a sigh of relief... But, what will you do after this? This woman is persistent. I couldn't hide my displeasure as my poker face cracked. I turned to Lisa and could think of only one thing to say. Let me think about it. 20 days from now. This wasn't gonna fly, was it? I looked at Lisa, but it seemed that she had given up. I'm not the one to talk in this case, I suppose. Huh? Oh, nothing. But you really should think about what you'll do after these 20 days. A lifetime is long, and you'll be surprised at how even something like breathing in the city will cost you something. Right. Even though she'd get angry talking about money, those words she said were particularly powerful. Well, perhaps she hated money because she didn't have much? For some reason, that seemed unlikely. I finished up the remaining Munier. What is that? Munier? Munier sauce? The word itself means miller's wife. Thus, to cook something a la Munier is to cook it by first dredging it in flour. Oh. Brown butter, chopped parsley, lemon, and flour. Oh, I know this. Yeah, it's like it usually goes with fish, like grilled fish. Lisa took the 2 banknotes that I gave her and placed them in a small accessory box hidden away in the corner of the shelf filled with cookware. It's not like she's a kid stealing some pocket money, but seeing Lisa like this led me to believe that perhaps she had her head in the clouds at this moment. My impression of Lisa was that she was an annoying and stupid woman, but at the same time she was a mature woman who surprisingly had both feet planted firmly on the ground. This is a bit different from before. I could only think of her as being unreliable and airheaded. I wondered why. I was a bit curious, but everyone had their circumstances. After re-evaluating, something else came to mind to ask. Hey. Yes? She looked like she snapped to her senses as she looked up after closing her accessory box and turned to face me. What is it? You're talking about how everyone has to do their own job earlier. But does that mean that even that girl works? It's Hagana, not that girl. Hey, she referred to me like that too, you know. can't you reach a compromise? Besides, she's mostly just shy towards other people. To me, she's a very good girl. Yesterday it didn't look like she was listening to you, though. In any case, it's Hagana, okay? Hagana! I know. Give me a break here. Jeez, we were talking about Hagana, right? Well, yeah, she works. Real? For real. I bit my lip as she mimicked me. I got annoyed when she said that I sound like a street thug, but to copy me like that was irritating. Stop trying to act tough and talk normally. Be quiet, you. I retorted as if I didn't have anything else to say, as if I were a spoiled child. Even though it was unbearable, it seemed like I was no match for Lisa. But it is true, though. That girl is working like a She's a teacher? That girl is working as a teacher. What? I wasn't putting on airs. I was honestly surprised. Mouth agape, I looked at Lisa and repeated, a teacher. Her? Yep. That girl is very smart, after all. Well, she does rather look down on others. Oh, that. It is true that I cannot deny it, but in a way she's always had that look in her eyes. It bothers her sometimes as well, so please don't get too mad at that. For me, okay? Huh. I gave her a snort of laughter and turned away. I wasn't laughing at her expense, just thinking about how Hagana was self-conscious about her appearance tugged at my heartstrings a bit. It was somewhat cute. She gathers up the neighborhood children and teaches them. She really works hard. What the hell? What? What? Oh, was it supposed to be like... Well, anyways. I guess that's like a programming error. I used to do something like that in the past, but I wasn't good at it. If it is about the social sciences, then I can handle it, but there isn't exactly a demand for that. Oh, is that so? Hagana specializes in the sciences. She's especially good with math. It's good to have knowledge in what is useful in the world. I attended university on the moon, you know? My concentration was Catholicism in medieval Europe and its relation to Aboriginal religion. What? What? I mean, where would you go with that type of degree? Maybe you'd be a history teacher? But yeah, there isn't anyone on the moon who'd be interested in studying Earth history with much less religious history. Even the university professors that had come here to take charge of the curriculum had to earnestly beg me to keep the research going, which was a bit of a shock. Well, if you are going to play for classes, then definitely math or physics. Or if you had even more money than chemistry or biology. The medical school is a bit different matter. In any case, I am well aware of all this. Exactly! I heard all the time that if not for the money, then there's nothing to study. It's a deplorable situation. I didn't know whether or not that it was deplorable, but the only problem that Lisa had chosen to live her life on the moon. In order to succeed on the moon, there was no time to study literature or history. It would be better to major in math-heavy scientific fields or focus on economics or management if one were not scientifically inclined. But if Lisa were to have any regrets over that, they would be pretty minuscule. I was able to trust her because somehow it did appear that she had her feet planted firmly on the ground. However, that girl as a teacher though, I mumbled to myself as I tried to visualize it. In her all-black getup, looking down on others with her eyes and words, as she taught from the podium, asking why the students didn't understand was simple to her. If there was a demand for situations like that, I'd certainly never heard about them. For someone with a short fuse like Hagana to have a bunch of bratty little animals as her students, I questioned whether or not that was really a good idea. Any infractions would get a warning the first time, but the second time around she smacked them with a stick without saying another word. It was so fitting it was scary. I more or less know what you're thinking. Well, who wouldn't hate a teacher like that? Now that you mention it, The children get along rather well with her. Lisa said it quietly, as if she was telling me a secret. It appeared that Lisa didn't actually think they got along. Well, she has been an integral part of supporting this church. She gives me everything she earns, you know? Even though the Lord warns against greed, he doesn't wish for extreme poverty either. I don't really get it, but I understand that appearances can be deceiving. That's right. If I were to make a decision just on what I see, I wouldn't have come to your aid. Eh, whatever. Thanks for the meal. I'll say it didn't taste half bad. My, really? But Hagana doesn't really like it that much. As I stood from my chair, something came to my mind. Maybe you put a bit too much seasoning in there. I prefer a stronger flavor, so it's fine for me, but... Really? My folks were manual laborers, and basically they always prepared things chaotically with strong flavoring, so it's a lot like that. Lisa had one hand on the table and the other clutching her forehead. You could say that was something of a blind spot. I got it, thanks! The pasta at the Big Bowl Cafe mixes salt and garlic very well, and it tastes pretty good, by the way. Lisa looked up at the ceiling as if to utter a prayer or something. I shrugged and opened the computer sitting on the coffee table in front of the sofa, and returned to looking for moneymakers. Alright. I'm gonna end it here. That was pretty good, I think. Right? But anyways. Alright. Anyways, if anyone enjoyed this series, World Eld, if you enjoyed the World End ECONOMiCA series anyway, please like any of the videos within the playlist, or comment within any of the videos, and I will continue on. If not, well, I guess this is the end, because I'm sort of into it, sort of not into it, mainly because there's so much information that they pile on, and it's like very not much happening, I would say. But yeah, like I said, that is the end of this session. I'll see you in the next session, whenever that happens, and I hope you have a good one. All right, bye.